Watching news at Prime, let's get into another important conversation now. Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts is weighing its legal options after being snubbed by former Road Accident Fund CEO Collins Letsoalo. It's wrapped up its probe into the cash-strapped RAF, despite Letsoalo writing several letters explaining why he does not recognize the legitimacy of the inquiry. Let's discuss this now with the Association for the Protection of Road Accident Fund Victims. Deputy President is Ngoako Mohlaloga. Mr. Mohlaloga, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. I think it's best first to begin this conversation by locating your organization and what is it that you do for road accident victims. What role do you play?
Thank you very much for having us. Maybe let me first correct our name. We are the Association for the Protection of Road Accident Victims. We were established in 2014 primarily to make sure that victims of road crashes are protected, because we have realized over a period of time that the system as it is disadvantaging most of the road accident victims. And what we did was to travel the length and breadth of the country to educate people about their rights, to make sure that people that are in the villages, in the far-flung villages, in the small dorpies, are aware of their rights after they've been involved in accidents. So that's primarily what we do, Tolly.
Okay. Let's then understand, from your perspective, your overall view of this inquiry that was carried out by Scopa. This is a portfolio committee of Parliament. And in particular, I'd like to know your thoughts as well into the intention of the Transport Department, because the Transport Department is the department under which the Road Accident Fund exists, or it accounts to. And the understanding here is that they want to reintroduce what is called the Road Accident Benefit Scheme. Is it possible for you to frame your thoughts around this inquiry and then lead us into this RABS that is going to be reintroduced?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngambi. I must say that we firstly acknowledge and are happy with the way the Scopa has been conducting the inquiry. They have managed to put to light most of the things that we've been, as APRAF, trying to put to light and communicate to various ministers of transport over the many years that we've been established. We were very pleased and happy that Scopa has now put to light these very serious issues that we've been trying to call for the attention of the ministers of transport to attend to. And our disappointment is in the fact that in their attempt to resolve the many challenges facing the RAF, the department is now trying to reintroduce the RAPS, which was rejected in 2020 by the 5th Administration Parliament, because one, it was found to be unaffordable. Two, it was not favoring the many victims of, especially the poor, of road crash victims, especially the poor in the rural areas. What many people seem not to be aware of is that if you introduce the RAPS today, it's basically a dual system, which means that the contingent liability of the current RAF that has been captured still has to be paid. And the scheme in itself is very expensive. It means, therefore, that Treasury is going to have to fund a parallel project, the current contingent liability of the fund and the new scheme. And academics have already indicated that the RAPS, because it's a no-fault scheme, which also means that people that cause accidents will automatically qualify, will then increase the volumes of claims that the fund or the scheme is going to be handling now, which is something that we contend that the government cannot afford.
How is this reintroduction of the Road Accident Benefit Scheme going to prejudice those who genuinely are claimants and have been involved in car accidents?
First of all, Toli, the RAF is proposing that there be an administrator who is going to be the judge and the jury in that same matter. Your people in the Eastern Cape, in my people in Limpopo, in the far-flung villages, are going to need to have some kind of access to internet, which we know that is not available in the villages, for them to be able to lodge a claim. And they're going to do that without being assisted by anyone. We all know that the fund has now closed the most of its centers that were in the hospitals because they've now stopped the direct claims. Now, if you look at people in the villages, firstly, they don't have information as things stand today. Now, if you're expecting them without being assisted by anyone to then electronically lodge their claims, it goes without saying only that the majority of the poor people that are illiterate, are going to be excluded. And that is the major contention that we have with the RAFs.
And that's a massive worry.
It is.
I've already asked you about your overall impression of how Scopa has dealt with this matter, and you seem to be impressed because they brought up a very necessary discussion to take place. But going forward, are you comfortable that at least the Road Accident Fund has been thrust into the spotlight and things are going to change for the better? There's a reason I'm asking you this question, because it's the final one I want to ask of you.
Really, I must say that there are some positive developments that we have seen since the interim board took over under the leadership of Mr. Kenneth Brown. There are some signs that there's the willingness to turn things around, although I must say that it's going to be very, very difficult. We are calling on the Department of Transport and the interim board of the RAF to engage all of the stakeholders. We are a very important stakeholder. We call upon them to engage us because we have conducted major research on what we think can be the solutions that will assist the RAF to turn things around. We are suggesting that they establish what we call a settlement hub. If you recall, Toli, in 2020 or 2022 around there, they did not renew their panel of attorneys. We are aware that most of those attorneys are still out there without a job. If the fund were to call some of those to give them temporary jobs inside the fund to capacitate the internal capacity of the internal capabilities of the fund to adjudicate on claims and make quicker settlements in the form of a settlement hub, that in our view can really help to expedite a settlement of claims.
Yeah. Finally, part of what the Scopa investigation sought to do was to hold people accountable for the state of the Road Accident Fund. And one of the key people that the fund wanted explanations from is its former CEO, Collins Letsoalo. We know that his matter is now with the Speaker of Parliament, including its legal services, as to why he simply did not want to appear before this inquiry. Were you disappointed that you could not hear from the person that has been in charge for a good number of years, in charge of the RAF, where this entity now is where it is? The understanding is that it is bankrupt, unless, of course, you're going to tell me different.
Well, Oli, I believe it was the wish of many South Africans to hear from the former CEO himself. And our view is that Parliament needs to be respected. It would have been better for him to go to Parliament and argue his case there. Safe to say that we believe that the Speaker and the Legal Service Department of Parliament will see to it that Parliament is being respected and do what needs to be done to in any way get Mr. Letsoalo to give his view on what happened. Safe to say that Scopa has now concluded its inquiry, and they are now in the process of putting together a report. I believe that they've been able to get enough information to put together a report to recommend something to the department and the speaker without his input, because most of the information that the inquiry has, in my view, is enough to put together a report, a comprehensive report for the speaker and the Department of Transport. Really.
Ngoako Mohlaloga, thank you very much indeed for your time and indeed giving us your inputs on this inquiry, which has now completed its work. And Ngoako is from the Association for the Protection of Road Accident Fund Victims. I hope I've got that title correct now. Am I right?
Association for the Protection of Road Accident Victims. That's
Road
the fund.
Accident Victims. Okay, got it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much indeed.